fellow committee members. I'm here today to take a look at some poetry with you, in hopes of my choice being selected for this year's AP Literature exam. We're going to briefly review the poet's background and prestige in the literary community, analyze the poem for its meaning and overall message, including theme, and discuss the poet's use of vocabulary and poetic devices. I chose T.S. Eliot for the poetry essay due to his superior reputation in the literary community. In fact, if you type famous poets into any search engine, T.S. Eliot is one of the first to appear, along with William Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson, Edgar Allan Poe, and several others. Choosing a well-known poet such as T.S. Eliot allows for AP Literature students to provide a deeper analysis in their essays. Students are more likely to make connections with the provided poem and the poet's life if they have previous knowledge of him or her. This allows for a more successful understanding of the poem rather than frustration and confusion. Thomas Stearns Eliot was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1888 to a successful father and a mother who was also a poet. He spent his life attending prestigious schools including Preparatory School, Harvard University, and Oxford University. While studying at Oxford, Eliot got married and remained in England until he was offered a professorship at Harvard. He then left his wife and spent the next year in America. He later returned to England and was remarried in 1957 to an old secretary of his. Just 8 years after his second marriage, Eliot died in London due to poor health. Although one of Eliot's most famous poems, The Waste Land, is said to be centered around his unhappy first marriage, his second wife was much more important to his career in literature, for she edited many of his pieces after his death. All of these events and others may have influenced Eliot's writing, so let's sum them up. Firstly, he moved to England in 1914, which marked the beginning of World War I. Many of his pieces were written and published during and between World War I and World War II. He had 2 wives, the first ending up in a mental institution. And Ezra Pound, another well-known poet of the 20th century, was highly influential on Eliot. T.S. Eliot was a poet, literary critic, and playwright. According to Professor Ronald Bush of Oxford University, however, Eliot's reputation as a poet and man of letters far outstripped his theatrical success. His high literary regard is seen in the opportunities he was offered, for not everyone would receive the honor of delivering the prestigious Clark Lectures at Cambridge University, nor the Norton Lectures at Harvard. Eliot also received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1948.
Created using Powtoon.